Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, the updated AP men's basketball poll was released, and Nebraska moved up 2 spots to 7th in the rankings. Tomorrow's matchup with 13th ranked Purdue will be the third ranked-on-ranked home game of the season. Prior to this season, Huskers have only played one home ranked-on-ranked game in school history. In other Husker news, Nebraska baseball has set their rotation for this weekend. Ty Horn will get the start on Friday night against UConn. Carson Yassa will start against Northeastern on Saturday. Cooper Katsky gets the ball on Sunday against Grand Canyon, and Gavin Blackowitz toes the rubber on Monday against Stanford. For game times and more information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, there's one big college basketball game tonight on the men's side as number 1 Arizona travels to Allen Fieldhouse to take on the 9th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m., and the game can be watched on ESPN. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Elbow jumper up, no good. Rebound, Price Sanford off that miss of Buchanan, and here's Hoiberg into the front court. Fakes the bounce pass, pull up Jay. Got it! Sammy, my boy! He's got 13 points. 3 threes for Sam, and he is on a heat check.
Take off the bounce, 7 to shoot, deep in the right side, catch and shoot 3. Nisley, you betcha! Her career high 6 Central Valley egg 3, and she's got 22 points.
2 outs, no one on. The 1-2 again from Jordy. Stewart swings and misses. Strike 3, and Nebraska takes down number 1 defending national champion Texas 8-5. And in case anybody in the softball world was wondering, Nebraska is going to be right in the middle of this thing this year.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, happy Monday to you. Lots of sports. It is that time of the year. And welcome in. A rare full 2 hours. In fact, our only full 2 hours for you this week, because we have a men's basketball show. We have 2 full hours coming up on Wednesday. We have a men's basketball hour. So our only full 2 hours this week.
It's disappointing, but I'll allow it. I went into many boardrooms and I demanded we do a full 2 hours tonight. So here we are. I'll say the one thing that I love, and the one thing that I noticed right away, was the pullover that Camden Cohn had.
The Pop-Tart
Bowl.
With the
he
sprinkles.
bought the merch of a bowl game he didn't even go to. He was that infatuated with the whole to-do of the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando that he bought the merch. So that is some true sicko college football behavior.
You know what else I like too in that open is that we've got Nate Rohr highlights, and including a big one, a big call, including Nebraska softball knocking off number 1 Texas. The Huskers, they're good. They are really good, and I know it's early, and they dropped one on Sunday that I know they would like to have back, but Washington's going to be a good team moving forward. I think you saw the pieces of a really good softball team over the weekend.
Yeah, I did a radio hit last night on KLIN and mentioned the fact of just the power numbers that you got. And if you thought going into the weekend and those 5 games that you played that you would split with Texas, split with Washington, of course, splitting with Texas being the headliner there, I think you take that. And then you win the 2 games against UTSA. You had 12 home runs over the weekend. I mean, it was pretty consistent. The way the ball was flying, and I would love to ask Rhonda this question, and I think it rings true every single year, is that the pitching is late to get to the hitting early in the season. I think you see pitchers get in their groove more once you hit conference play.
I think we've seen that out of Jordy the last couple of years.
And you could just sense that she wasn't quite all the way there, and because you're not in midseason form, right? And having a freshman, Alexis Jensen, she had got a couple of starts, 10 innings for her, allowed 10 earned runs. the good thing is that she didn't walk anybody. She had 21 strikeouts over those 10 innings to no walk. So that's a good sign. Pretty confident kid, I think, is one way to put it.
I would say so. I mean, the fact that you've got Jordy Fromm and you give the ball to a freshman to start the season against a top 25 team, essentially, in Washington, so that you can go to Jordy against Texas in the doubleheader to open up the season. And then you turn right around and let her start against Texas the very next day. And she held her own. And so I think that is going to continue to bode well for this team moving forward. I was also really, really impressed with Jessie Farrell. I think she is going to be a huge get for this team. We joked about it with Rhonda in our interview, our preseason talk with her about which UNLV transfer might make the biggest impact here at Nebraska, and I think she's going to absolutely have a huge impact. I think you already saw behind the plate her pop up, and that was one thing that Ava Kuzak was telling me about, that it was an adjustment, that how quickly she gets up and she's going to be a threat. People are not going to run on her as much, but then also at her power at the plate. So I think that was a big addition. But yeah, their lineup, unbelievable. You got a lot of those hitters back that set so many records, and they're already on their way. I think they're going to probably break a lot of the records that they set last year this season.
I think Hannah Kamazin had a monster weekend too. She was 9 of her first 18. It's pretty remarkable. We got the matchup that we wanted, Tegan Cavant against Jordy Fromm in that first Nebraska-Texas game, that was the pitching matchup that I had talked about going into the season last week. And then it turns out to be a 15-10 slugfest. I don't think anybody could have, and it just shows that pitchers are slow to the party at the start of a season, that in April, in May, is never going to be a 15-10 game. That's a 2-1 type of game. So that was fascinating. And the way that Nebraska just kept chipping away, even though that Texas went on their runs towards the end to have a pretty comfortable separation late in the game. But the fact that Nebraska just kept chipping away in the late innings against Texas to make it a game late was pretty impressive. All
right, so that was the big win. And also, Nebraska men's basketball gets back in the win column, and a huge storyline there was Rink Mass getting going, which another thing we talked about going into the weekend, him coming off the illness and missing the game at Michigan, and he just was not quite right against Illinois. So him getting back right and really getting it going, I think will bode well for him going into this matchup against Purdue.
Yeah, it's clear that they want the offense to revolve around him. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to take all the shots, although he had a career high 20 attempts the other day at Rutgers. But you have to. And I think that the outside shot will come, right? I just think he's still going through it. He hit the first one, and you thought maybe he would get into a pretty nice rhythm from 3 after he swished that first triple. And then he realized maybe it wasn't there, and it was just more block to block for him. And it just shows that he can continue to beat you in so many different ways. He had a stretch in the game where he had 3 consecutive jump hooks, just took what the defense was giving him, took what was comfortable to him in that game. And Rink's going to be massive moving forward. If this team can make that run, and we'll talk about what's ahead for this team, especially tomorrow, massive game against Purdue. And then after that, the schedule is really in their favor. I hate to put that out there because it puts more pressure on this program to get it done. But if you win a game tomorrow against a really good Purdue team that might have the National Player of the Year, after that, you're probably favored in all of maybe but one game on the road at Iowa. So your schedule sets yourself up to put you in a pretty good spot at minimum to be a top 4 seed and get a couple of byes in the Big Ten tournament.
My favorite stat, 19 assists, 6 turnovers, and they still are right there, number 3 in the country in assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, and that's been led all year with Sam Hoiberg and what he's done. And he had a couple of huge threes. He was 3 of 4 from 3. Just a typical Sam stat line, right? 13 points, 7 rebounds. I think it just astonishes me, his rebounding average, especially defensive rebounding, what he does. And then 5 assists as well, and just 2 turnovers in 34 minutes. Consistently winning teams, they assist on their shots, which means they share the basketball, but they don't turn the ball over. That has been a consistent trend with Nebraska. They usually stay around at max 8 turnovers a game. Like they're always a pretty sizable plus in that turnover margin every single game, and that's why they're 21-2.
All right, we want to talk some more men's basketball and have plenty of time for our very special guest coming up next. Kent Pavelka agreed to join us here tonight to preview the big one coming up tomorrow night. Also look back on the win over Rutgers. So a special guest coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. The voice of Husker men's basketball up next here on Sports Nightly.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of this special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and a very, very, very special guest joining us here tonight. Kent Pavelka joining us. Hey, Kent, thanks for being here with us.
Hi, guys. I've never been on with both of you before.
It's not much better. It's not as good when it's just Jess. It's actually it's worse when I'm here. So you're it's kind of unfortunate that I'm here too, I guess.
Well, no, not at all.
Oh.
Let me just say something before we get going here. You guys, your football broadcast is awesome. I haven't been able to listen to baseball yet, Kyle, but I just wanted to say that because I haven't had a chance to say that on the air. I thought maybe when Greg passed that I'd get a call, just a courtesy call maybe about coming back because I've always wanted to, even before Greg took the job. But I'm telling you, it is what it should be. It's great. And you're the man going forward and probably doing the basketball too. So I just wanted to say that I enjoy it, and I think you're doing a great job.
How
about that?
You got me. I'm about to be in tears here on sports. No, thank you so much,
How do we
Kent.
even move forward? How do we even ask you any
that's really
questions
kind.
after that?
That's super kind.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kent. And
I thought maybe Jason would call or the university or Playfly. It was a pipe dream, but man. They made a great decision.
Well,
Thank
Kent,
you,
you just recently had a special done on you. Again, we've got a big basketball matchup. We'll eventually talk about it. But recently had a really nice special done on you on Big Ten The Journey. And there were some pictures from your past that they were able to dig up. And you look the exact same as you did in college.
Come on.
You haven't changed a bit.
I thought I looked like I was 150 years old in that thing. Seriously. I mean, I looked at that and thought, I'm not looking at it again. But, it was nice that they did that. Social Security money's still the same. So, I mean, it didn't affect that. But, no, it was really nice that I told the producers, you must be running out of ideas, for segments.
Can I ask a play-by-play nerdy question? Kent, your preparation, how much has that changed over the years? It's different. Football and basketball is different. It's a different sport, different number of guys you're preparing for. But how much are maybe the spotting charts and things and what you do leading up to a game, how much has there been an evolution there for you?
Well, it's evolved in terms of having access to video, which I didn't back in the day. And I know you probably take advantage of that too, but that's so helpful to be able to watch enough video of the opponent that those names and numbers just come to you without having to look up and down at your spotting board. But I would say I do more work now today than I did, 51 years ago, whether it was football or basketball. I think when you get a little older, you need to. I don't know. What do you do? What I do is if we've got a game 2 days from now, I'm working on it the next day. If it isn't till next week, 10 days from now, I'm still working on it the next day. So I just take the time I've got available and just keep chipping away at it, even right up until, we go on the air.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated because we're all different, right? We all do. And I think the biggest thing, too, is just memorization in basketball and football and just memorizing and watching video. And I know we talked before we went live and how you're going to watch a lot of the Purdue tape and now working with a different analyst, too, and all the years with Jake and now working with a new analyst and Coach Jeff Smith. It seems like you guys have, the winning helps, right? It helps the chemistry when you're calling winning basketball and top 10 basketball. But it seems like you guys have been calling games for a long time. I think that's a pretty cool chemistry you guys have created.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And I know Jeff will be happy to hear that too. I mean, we hit the ground running the first broadcast, I thought. He did some high school stuff, I think, in Lincoln, which probably helped him a little bit. But he's just so, he's built for doing analysis. I'm sure he wants more airtime, but he's not going to get it. But anyway, no, I love working with him, and I love working with Jake and Matt Davison before that. We all had a little different chemistry, but he's really easy to work with, and I think he feels the same way about me.
Kent, before we talk about this basketball team, have you been able to, I know it's been, you felt the love on social media, obviously, the journey piece, everything that's kind of gone along with a magical season. Have you been able to kind of sit back and appreciate what's been done this season with this basketball team?
Yeah, sure have. Yeah, I guess I can't separate the two things, the success and the top 10 and being so impressed with what Fred and the rest of the coaches have put together. I mean, it's just been, this is a movie, I think. But then, it's felt good to have people express that they like listening to you. I guess I'll put it that way. You both know in this business, you do a lot of work, and you put a lot out there, but you don't necessarily get much back necessarily, get your paycheck and all that. But it's nice to be told that people enjoy listening to you.
And so moving ahead to this basketball team, and nice response. And, I don't know if you got one of those cards that they were giving out at Rutgers that costs about a couple grand.
Did you get an anime card, Kent?
You should have.
That was so crazy. The concourse, I can't even describe. It was just totally congested, and they made people keep walking. So they were walking around the concourse right up until we went on the air, as far as I know, or even later. And those people had no intention of coming to the game. They were just there with their tickets, either for sale or wanting to buy or both. And it was crazy. I still don't understand what it was, but I guess
me either.
I guess if you had a ticket, it was worth money. And I think it's like the old Beanie Babies. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not.
Oh yeah.
I had a bunch of those.
Lou, my wife, has about 1,000 of them. And of course, when she bought them, they're going to be worth a lot of money someday. Well, it's kind of, they're worth a nickel now each. And I don't know. I think that the sports information guy there, Chris Corso, told me that this was the third game they had done this, and the last one, but the prices were already coming down. So, I think if you had one, you need to sell it right away for what you can get for it. But some people think they're going to be worth a lot of money. For what reason? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a strange thing to read about. But how about this team? I think the biggest thing I took away from the Rutgers road trip is how comfortable Rink looked. I think they want to get him going a little bit more in terms of his three-point shot. But, the 3 consecutive jump hooks, working block to block. When the ball's in his hands, the offense flows a lot better. And when he's scoring, it obviously helps the end result. But Rink, what was your impression of him? That had to be good to see.
Well, I was just glad to see it. Absolutely relieved to see it. I don't know why I questioned whether or not we'd see that version of Rink, because two things regarding the game before against Illinois. One, he wasn't feeling well. You could tell he was still sick. And so that affected his play, but also that Illinois front line. I mean, it was harder to operate in the paint, deep in the paint, than it was on Saturday against Rutgers. So, he had a better stage to do what he wants to do on Saturday than he did the previous Sunday against Illinois. But they need him to perform like that. But you guys know the beauty of this, though, that if he doesn't, somebody else will. And Fred is so good at, putting those guys in a situation where somebody's going to get a good shot. And so it's just been a remarkable season, and I'm glad Rink's back. I think that did a lot for his confidence. That's the most points he scored in a conference game this year.
Yeah. Obviously, still a lot of basketball left to be played, but as we move through February and get closer to March, do you feel like that this team has put it all together yet? Because I feel like they've played their best defensive performance so far. I mean, they've played really good defensively. They might have played really good offensively, but I don't know if they've put it all together yet in one complete game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, can you imagine the day or the night that all the guys who can shoot threes are shooting them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, you can win games with 1.5 of them shooting it well, but I don't think we've seen that game yet where everybody's just, unconscious from distance. I think these guys are just so focused and so mature that they really, it's kind of, some people say a lot, but I don't know if there's a lot of meaning to it there. I think there is in this case. These guys just prepare for the game they're going to play. And all this other noise, I think they're cognizant of it. I don't think it's affected them, and I don't think it will affect them. I just hope that, when they get in that first week of March, that we have one of those nights. They have one of those nights in them where what I said a while ago happens, that everybody's shooting it down. That's my biggest fear. You win 30 games and then somebody comes out of nowhere and you can't win that first game in the NCAA tournament. But here I am. I'm way ahead of everything.
You obviously haven't been in the locker room, Kent.
Coach won't like that.
Well, I'm going to do something that Fred's not going to like either. This next question is going to go against all the stuff that the players want to be doing. But I look at this Purdue game. It's massive for a lot of different reasons, but if you're talking about Big Ten championships, you look at what the schedule is ahead. The hardest portion of Nebraska's schedule is now in the rearview mirror. You have the Northwesterns, Iowas, Penn States, Maryland, USC, UCLA. So all those games, besides maybe one of them, Nebraska will be favored. So if you win this Purdue game, you put yourself in a really good spot. Do you view this game coming up tomorrow as massive as I do when I look at the schedule ahead?
Yeah, the word I'm going to use is colossal. Mm-hmm. It is that big, and you're thinking exactly what I've been thinking all day long today. You win today or tomorrow. You've got 3 road games left, the 2 California games and at Iowa. Exactly what you said.
You dare to dream.
Exactly
right?
What you said.
You dare to dream. You dare to dream with the win tomorrow that this could be a Big Ten championship type season, right? Because
absolutely. And you look at, Michigan, you look at what the other teams, the top 3-4 teams have got left, and it's arguable that Nebraska has a not easier path, but the others have maybe a more difficult path. So, you're right there right now, but I think you need to beat Purdue to continue to be right there right now.
Yeah. Okay, well, what does it take then? I know you're going to watch some more film, but tell us about this matchup and what it looks like on paper going into it for the Huskers.
Well, I'm concerned about their guards, of course, Smith and Lawyer. They've been turning the ball over more recently than most Purdue teams do. They've got a problem with perimeter defense. They want to play those 2 bigs together, and I don't think I think Nebraska pulls them out on the floor. I don't know if they can guard us. And then, they've been going to drop defense with their 5-man, and that just opens up the floater for Rink and everybody else who can get into the lane, into the lane. So perimeter defense, I think you got to take advantage of where they're maybe vulnerable in that sense. And then they've turned it over. Braden Smith turned it over 6 times against Oregon. Thing I'm worried about is they have their perfect game. And don't think they won't be ready to go tomorrow. This is a culture that they've been there, done that, the bluest of blue bloods, and they're not going to be affected by PBA, I don't think, very easily. Hope it's the most raucous crowd we've seen. This is the biggest game of the year, in my opinion.
It's funny how, as you go along and you have a team like this, and we're talking with some of the things that are coming along potentially. It's funny how every game is that,
Yeah.
Every game becomes the biggest game of the season.
Yeah, you think back to November and December. Going to go to Oklahoma. Can they beat Oklahoma? That was huge, that game, remember? And, you go to Kansas City and you play Creighton, and each game is like, well, are they really, to what degree have they really proven themselves? And here we are, 21 wins, And you still have that kind of nagging question as to whether they can do it the next time. I hate to admit that, but I think that's part of the soul of Nebraska basketball as a result of never having successfully gotten over that hurdle. And this is the year where I think, that's gonna happen, and the paradigm changes.
Biggest concern for this team? I mean, the way I look at there's a lot of positives, of course, but when Rink's sick and you look at the Michigan game, you have to play Leo a little bit more. It looks like Leo's going to miss tomorrow, and he's a little bit banged up. Front court depth, I think, is the top of the list for me, Kent, when it comes to concerns for this basketball team. Late in the year, Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. Would you agree that maybe that is number one on the list, depth of this team? That might be the biggest issue?
Absolutely. Trying to get it done with 6 or 7 guys right now. And you play the 8th guy, and he's not getting many minutes. So you're worried about more injuries. You're worried about foul trouble. But I think that, the guy who was the star of the crown, Cale Jacobson, he can play 4 and 5. And at 6'4", that's asking a lot, but he's capable of doing it. So I think he helps a lot. And then, Frager's back, his ankle's okay. Hopefully Rink is not going to get sick again. And Berke, all those guys have got to stay healthy and out of foul trouble. And I think if they do, they're going to compete with everybody.
Kent, who needs to have a big game? I feel like every night we could go into it and guess who might be the leading scorer, but who might be the leading scorer in this one against Purdue? Who does this matchup bode well for?
I would think Rink or Price. Rink, because as I say, I don't know that their 7'4" kid can guard him. Kaufman-Wren probably can. But he's a handful when he steps out on the court beyond the 3-point line and on the elbow, initiating that offense they run. So Rink, I think, has a chance to have a massive game. I'd love to see it back to back from what he did, with what he did at Rutgers, and then they're going to run around and try to get shots for Price as they always do, and I hope he can shoot it down. Have one of his best games tomorrow. I think he's got a chance to have a big one.
How fun has this been watching Sam Hoiberg have the season that he's had? Every coach in the press conference, I think Steve Peichel said it too, post-game with Rutgers, that he's just the kind of the engine to the whole thing. It's been pretty fun to watch him play.
Yeah. If he weren't Fred's son, I think he'd be getting, more accolades and more praise. I mean, there's that hangover, that carryover of first 2 years he's here, well, he's on the squad. You know why? Because Fred's the coach. I mean, he doesn't get credit. I mean, Sam Hoiberg, take him out of the equation. This team is maybe got 5 or 6 less wins. I really believe that. He is in some ways the MVP of the team, really.
Well, how you ready for another one at PBA? It's been amazing, right? And you've taken a lot of photos. You've had the line to get to you sometimes is quite long with fans wanting to chat with you.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I love it. Nobody I won't take time to thank for listening and being as kind as they have been. And I will admit again, it's been personally real nice to feel loved, and I have felt that.
All right, I know that people are going to want to know where to get that hat that you're wearing.
Let me see the hat. I can't see it.
I got it.
It's a got it hat.
I love it.
I got a Bangarang one too.
Are those for sale?
No, I don't know. I ordered it off from Ethiopia or somewhere. I don't know where it came from, but it was cheap. It cost about $3 or $4. So I should get a bunch of them, right?
We need to get those in production. I guess.
KP, we can get you a piece. We can start putting them in production. Give you a piece of the cut. And,
why not?
Away we go.
Talk to Jason about it. Let's get going.
Let's get it going.
We see him today. That's the first thing on the docket for us.
All right. man.
Ken, great stuff. Great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow there out at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And we'll look forward to another great call from you and Jeff tomorrow night.
Thank you, guys.
Again, Ken Pavelka, Jeff Smith on the call for us right here on the Huskers Radio Network. 6 o'clock tip between Nebraska and Purdue, top 15 matchup, but pregame show starting at 5 o'clock right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Got to step aside for a break. More of the show coming up right after this.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. What's funny back there, guys?
Uh-oh.
They're laughing back
Camden's
there. They're giggling.
Pop-Tart.
Oh, yeah. He counted me down at 5, but then he didn't do anything else. And so then I guess I was a little late to the party over
We should
here.
get Chris on here to talk some wrestling.
I know. Well, I was going to, but I was going to wait till next hour.
Okay.
But
he's our expert on wrestling.
Yes, he is. 47-0.
How about that?
I would say that's domination, right?
Pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah. We will talk some of that here in hour number 2. But Super Bowl, what'd you think?
Boring. It was terrible quarterback play. Sam Darnold, he played well enough, didn't turn the ball over. Drake May was about as horrific as you could be as a quarterback. The offensive line play, their left tackle, Will Campbell, who was a first-round pick from LSU, I think he was graded out. It was the worst offensive line performance of any NFL offensive lineman all season long. Seattle's defense is right up there with some of the best in the history of the game, the way they've played of late. It was one of the most dominant Super Bowls I've seen from a defense in quite some time. It was just one of those games that you just felt was never a game. It was 19-0, I believe, at one point. You say, oh, the game's over, and then they hit a couple of shots. New England makes it 19-7. You say, okay, you get a quick score, make it a one-possession game. All of a sudden, it's a game again, but it just never was. And congratulations. I look at Sam Darnold as, I was in the New York, New Jersey area when he was drafted by the Jets, and people kicked him to the curb, and then he went to Carolina. He wasn't very good. And then he found himself in Minnesota and then found a great spot in Seattle, and back-to-back years where he won 14 games as a starting quarterback. It just shows the right system. He had the talent. Everybody always knew it. But the right system, the right franchise, and you can win it all. And Sam Darnold, good for him. It was a really cool story.
Yeah, that was a good story. But the game, it
was terrible.
Overall, I didn't think the commercials were that great.
I just don't even pay all that much attention to the commercials anymore. I think what was pretty astounding and not great for us in this business when it comes to voiceovers and things like that, everything is AI now. I think just about almost every commercial was artificial intelligence. We're getting in a scary direction where we're not using actual real live actors anymore or real voices. Everything's AI now, which was pretty eye-opening.
I'll tell you what, I watched a ton of Olympics over the weekend.
We're watching it right now.
Yeah,
we're watching the luge.
I actually watched that live. I had it on live this morning. So that is the kind of, Camden and I were talking about this, the time difference in Milan is that you can actually watch these events live like in the morning and mid-afternoon, as opposed to what in the summer, it was like overnight basically. And so, some of these big time events are basically, the prime time is at noon, basically at around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I love watching the speed skating. I like watching the snowboarding. I was watching actually live when Lindsey Vonn crashed out, and it's unbelievable, her story. And I know there was a lot of people there to watch, and she crashed so early, but she was about to go on a torn ACL. I know she put out a post today that said her previous injuries had nothing to do with her fall. Her arm clipped the gate, and it just threw her off. But I mean, it was a bad wreck. But it just was remarkable that she was even able to come back and put herself in a position to even be there. But that was awesome. American won. Breezy was fun to watch her kind of hold on to that. But I like a lot of I'm a bigger fan of the Summer Olympics, but I watched a lot of the Winter Olympic sports, and I'm ready for the hockey to get to like the medal, like the rounds
when it's USA, Canada. And
yeah, well, that's
medal.
coming up. The women's matchup, and so there's a lot of exciting kind of things to come in these sports.
I just think the fascinating aspect of it is you pour so much into it for those 4 years leading up, and then it all comes down to one singular moment, whether you get it done or you don't. I've never been a huge Olympics person. Just some of these other sports it just never seemed to intrigue me. I get the intrigue in it, though.
So let me ask you this: has it been because I have found I've always liked them, but then I have found even more so here because there have been quite a few Huskers since I've been here. I think there's been 2 Olympic Games now because the 2020 got pushed back. So you look at volleyball, there's multiple Huskers, and then you have track and field. We've had multiple Huskers, so it's been pretty interesting to follow.
I think at everything schools like Nebraska and the previous spot I was at, I mean, every single event there was a pretty massive name that went to Florida that everybody was sort of celebrating in that moment. But I think that's the cool thing is that we're around these athletes that eventually are going to take that stage in another 4 years or 8 years from now that are, whether it's track and field or swim and dive. I think
Rifle.
that's the cool. Rifle, yeah. And it's just we put Nebraska specifically, it puts such an emphasis on Olympic sports that you're going to run into multiple Huskers that are going to be on the biggest stage of the Olympics.
I also think, we might even have a men's gymnast. We are going to have several Huskers and former Huskers. Wrestling, we're going to have wrestlers that are going to have, we heard Ridge Levitt on the program, 2 weeks ago, that said he's going to pursue that as well. So we're going to be able to watch several, and it's going to be cool because it's obviously in Los Angeles. So we're going to be able to watch closely for that.
Dare I say Jordy Fromm for Team USA in 2028?
Absolutely.
I would think that she's a realistic name for that team. I could just being in that sport for as long as I have, I just know the competition for players that, one, are going to be in a sweet spot in the prime of their careers when 2028 rolls along, and for those that are on the current Team USA that are trying to hold on long enough to be able to play in 28, I just know the competition for that team because it's so rare, softball being in the Olympics. It's just going to be at an all-time high to make that team.
I think what's good about Jordy's campaign is that, look, she's done it against basically the best of the best for 4 years. She's proven that she's one of the best pitchers, in softball, because a lot of the best players in college are on that biggest stage, and she did it for 2 years, and hopefully we'll see it again this year. But I think her resume speaks for itself that you got to go earn it. And I know that it is competitive, and there's a lot of good, but I feel like she's made a pretty good resume that if she wants to do it, it's going to be hard to keep her off that roster.
And I think, is it Patty Gasso now that is the coach of Team USA? Because Heather Tarr, I don't think, is the coach anymore.
I don't know about. Yes, she is for. She is for the upcoming Olympics. Yes.
Yeah. So that and there's. I mean, I don't think I'm breaking any news, but there's some politics behind the scenes that goes into who makes the team, who doesn't make the team. So there's certain things that factor into that roster, but that sport specifically, I'm going to be pretty intrigued into what that final roster looks like.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life
life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Welcome back. Final segment here. Hour number 1, Sports Nightly. Got a whole nother hour coming your way. So, do have to tell you about my training table story today.
Okay, let me hear it.
So I was late to the training table, barely made the final bell, but I was headed over. I usually always get a salad. I love the salad bar, right? And Cale Jacobson and Jalen Gramstad were having a conversation, pretty in-depth conversation. And so I walked over there and I kind of was joking with them. I said, this is a pretty in-depth conversation over here at the salad bar. And they were kind of just laughing about it. And so I was like, I don't know, something about the lettuce, I guess. And then Cale said, did you know this lettuce is from Ashland, Nebraska?
How did he know
Did you know that? Well, he's from Ashland.
But he knows that we get our lettuce from Ashland. It's one thing to be from Ashland.
Well, it's kind of a small town, so I'm sure he knows.
The scuttlebutt got out that UNL gets their...
So shout out Ashland, Nebraska for...
Okay. Oh, I know we get, a lot of our beef and a lot of the fish and everything. Well, not fish, but beef and other things. Chicken is local.
There's a heavy dose of salmon in Nebraska.
There's the oceans around Nebraska. Yes. That'd be the one thing. Of all the things I could have said. The fish. They swim upstream here in Nebraska. But everything seems to be locally sourced here in Nebraska from what I've learned.
I learned something new. I was chatting with him about that. I get salad almost every day. I go to the training table.
There it is. There's the bell.
Oh, we got the bell going.
Yes. Did you hear the bell?
We got it going.
Training table gets set at least once. In our case, about 4 times per show.
Listen,
we got to make up for it because we're only on for a full 2 hours once this week.
Yeah, I know. And we only have one more hour. We have some short shows coming up, but we got Husker baseball on the air on Friday.
I'll tell you what, excited for the start of the season. Talked to Will Bolt in his office last week, just talking about the team. Feels like they're going to have a little bit more pop in their lineup. Dylan Carey comes back. They got a guy in Jet Buck who they brought in to be their shortstop, but they're going to wait an extra year because they didn't expect Dylan to come back. But I think they have guys that can hit a few more home runs. That Carson Yesa is going to be their Saturday starter, who's a flame, can throw up to 100. As you could tell, I've been waiting for baseball season. I'm ready to go.
I wanted to get into that because we're not going to have an opportunity really much. So hour number 2, we'll talk a little bit more baseball, but Husker and Hanover on the chat coming in to try to help you out. He said catfish, but I don't think I've seen catfish at the training table. Have you?
There's everything. I'm sure at some point it's been there. I haven't had it. I have salmon a lot. I assume it's just not coming from Nebraska. Probably be farm-raised salmon at that point. I don't think they're giving out farm-raised salmon at the training table. It's all fresh. Fresh from the ocean.
Another ding. I love it. We did miss a couple of days last week of getting in our training table references.
We make up for it in interviews that we do anyway.
Yeah. I also chatted with Ed Foley, had lunch with Ed Foley today.
That's good. You don't get to do that every day, so that's fun.
Yeah. He's a big fan of curling in the Olympics.
Is he?
He was breaking it down for me today, and I had no idea what he was talking about. You want to talk about a sport that you were like, I don't know what's going on? I had no idea what he was saying. All right, that's going to do it. Hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. Hour 2 up next. Keep it here.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, These trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Earlier today, the updated AP men's basketball poll was released, and Nebraska moved up 2 spots to 7th in the rankings. Tomorrow's matchup with 13th ranked Purdue will be the 3rd ranked-on-ranked home game of the season. Prior to this year, the Huskers have only played 1 home ranked-on-ranked game in school history. In other Husker news, Nebraska baseball has set their rotation for this weekend. Ty Horn will get the start on Friday night against UConn. Carson Yassa will start against Northeastern on Saturday. Cooper Kapsky gets the ball on Sunday against Grand Canyon. And Gavin Blackowitz plays the rubber on Monday against Stanford. For more game times and information, visit Huskers.com. And finally, there's one big college basketball game tonight on the men's side as number 1 Arizona travels to Allen Fieldhouse to take on the 9th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Tip-off is set for 8, and the game can be watched on ESPN. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Elbow jumper up no good. Rebound, Price Sanford off that miss of Buchanan, and here's Hoiberg into the front court. Fakes the bounce pass, pull up Jay. Got it! Sammy, my boy! He's got 13 points. 3 threes for Sam, and he is on a heat check.
Take off the bounce, 7 to shoot, deep in the right side, catch and shoot 3. Nisley, you betcha! Her career high 6 Central Valley A3, and she's got 22 points.
2 outs, no one on. The 1-2 again from Jordy. Stewart swings and misses. Strike 3, and Nebraska takes down number 1 defending national champion Texas 8-5. And in case anybody in the softball world was wondering, Nebraska is going to be right in the middle of this thing this year.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly, and basically our last hour. Actually, no, we have 1 hour on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
You know what was good today? It was the best weather day that we've had.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Since probably October.
Yeah, someone asked me, how you doing? I was like, how can you not be great with this weather?
I wasn't outside a whole lot today, though.
Oh, Sunny got multiple walks today.
Sonny must have loved it.
Yeah, although her hair's getting kind of long and she kind of gets pouty when she doesn't like to be hot. And so she probably needs another haircut. Because she last got a haircut right before it was going to be freezing for a while. So now it needs to be cut again. So, but yeah, it was fantastic outside today. This is baseball, softball weather.
Huge for baseball. I know it's different because you're playing indoors a lot. You want to get outside, catch some fly balls, play on the dirt a little bit. And they had a chance to scrimmage today at Haymarket, actually. I know Coach Bolt did a media get-together today, but they had a chance to actually practice and scrimmage at Haymarket Park, which they don't get to do a whole lot. It's not a facility that's owned by UNL Athletics, so it's one of those places that you don't really get to until the season starts. So for them, it was a big day to get out there before their first road trip.
Okay, so you guys had a long, lengthy conversation. I know Coach Bolt's had some media availabilities. They had some players available today too, but you and Nick and Ben were able to sit down and pick the brains of Coach Bolt. Who else was in there?
It was Nick, Ben, myself, Coach Childress as well was in there, and Coach Bolt.
So what were your kind of big takeaways from that?
I think they think they're going to be pretty good. I think the expectation, they're not shying away from expectations this year. When I talked to Coach Bolt in studio, he'd said it publicly previous. We want to host a regional. There's no reason this team shouldn't be able to host a regional. I know it's not something that you get used to around here with Nebraska baseball, but back-to-back years, they've won tournament championships. I know Ben and Nick had a chance to pick up their rings, too, when we went to go and talk to Coach Bolt. But if you talk to Coach Childress and you talk to Coach Bolt, whether it's the pitching staff or the lineup, something I said in the last hour is they feel like there's more power in this lineup. Most of the infield's back this year, which helps. I don't think they thought they'd get Dylan Carey back. They're very high on some of the guys that they brought into into the program, especially Jet Buck. I think he's going to provide a lot at second base. He's an experienced shortstop, All-American at the Division II level. And then I think there's some questions to be had, not offensively, but maybe defensively, in some of the guys that are shifting positions and now playing in the outfield. They're starting center fielder and left fielder were at different positions last year more consistently, so they're going to play full-time roles now in new positions. And then you look at the weekend rotation. It's the first year that Ty Horn's going to be the guy on Friday nights, and I think
Ben's been talking about him for a while, so is Nick.
Yeah, and he was a part of the media scrum today. I think he's a super confident guy. I think the best stuff on the staff would be their Saturday starter, and Carson Yesa you're going to hear a lot more from. If you talk to Coach Bolt, probably has the most upside and a chance to be a day one pick eventually in the MLB draft. You know, the guy that can touch 100 miles an hour, just electric stuff. The biggest difference for him this year is I think he has an understanding of where some of his stuff is going to go. There's a little bit more command and control. And then Cooper Katsky was another one of those huge additions in the transfer portal. He was the MAC pitcher of the year last year for Miami of Ohio. And you get him to be your Sunday starter this year. And then one of those wild cards would be Tucker Timmerman. Does he eventually factor in as a weekend rotation guy? Is he a midweek starter? Is he a bullpen luxury in some of the weekends? And then Kevin, I have to figure out whether it's Manel or Mantle. I've heard it both ways, but he's their closer now this year from Mississippi State. So you have some new faces in some really key roles now this year, but I think they're pretty darn confident going into the year.
Okay, so but again, a lot like softball, they've got some tough matchups here out of the gate with some of the teams on the schedule in the early goings. What do you think ideally is the start for this team? What it should look like when we're talking about that first week of March going into the first Big Ten series against Michigan State?
Yeah, it starts right away too, and you don't want to overlook UConn, who they're playing on opening day. That's a team that's pretty consistently a regional team. Northeastern, Grand Canyon, Stanford, Arizona. It's a pretty good 4 tests that you're going to face to begin. It's hard to think, okay, where is this team at until you start playing other competition. But I really think it ramps up the following weekend when you talk about a team like Louisville, who was, I believe they were Final 4 remaining in the College World Series last year, and they lost in the semis last year. Finished 10th in the ACC, but they made a deep run in Omaha, and then a Florida State team that's really consistent in the ACC. I think that's a team a lot of people picked to go to Omaha, and they were 1 win away from the World Series last year, lost in a super regional. Those are 2 teams that are really prominent that you look at on the schedule in the second weekend. And then you go to 3-game series against what could be a team that's going to make Omaha preseason top 10 in Auburn. So right away, can you win one of those games at Auburn? Can you win one of the games, can you split Louisville and Florida State and Texas? I think there's plenty of opportunities, just like softball, for baseball to boost that non-conference resume. And this is what you have to do to be able to host a regional and be a top 16 team. You have to have some of these bullet points on the resume early in the year, whether it's a UConn, Florida State, Louisville. There's a lot of chances here early for them to do that.
Okay, when do there's like multiple polls, and that's what I was texting.
D1 baseball, I think, is the one that they use the most.
Okay, I guess expected you to read my mind. What about college softball? When do those polls update for the week?
I think
some of them are. I was just trying to Softball America. Okay.
Yeah, NFCA is the one that I always used. I think that's Tuesdays. ESPN, I think, might be later Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
So Softball America is today, and they've got Texas Tech at number 1, Tennessee at number 2, and guess who Nebraska softball plays this weekend?
Yeah.
They play Texas Tech and Tennessee.
So, and that's down in Florida, too. Is that the Clearwater tournament on ESPN where they have those are that Texas Tech matchup? Again, we got Jordy Fromm and Tegan Kavan. Are we going to get Jordy Fromm and Nigeri Kennedy, which we didn't get last year? That'll be pretty intriguing. Do they have Georgia as well?
Georgia. So it's LSU. It's the Shriner Children's Clearwater Invitational. So it starts Thursday, and you got LSU and then Georgia both on Thursday. So at 9 a.m. and then 3. Friday, you've got Tennessee. Saturday, you've got UCF. And then Sunday is that big matchup with Texas Tech that will be on ESPN. And yeah, I mean, last year they matched up earlier on in the year, and we did not see that head-to-head matchup between those two pitchers. But I think what we saw over the weekend, they're not going to be afraid to throw Alexis Jensen in some of these matchups.
And you're going to have to, right? I mean, you're playing 5 games against some pretty heavy competition. UCF's pretty darn good too, and they're down on the list of the teams that you're playing in terms of LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas Tech. UCF's really, really darn good. A team that's a few years removed from actually hosting a regional. So that'll tell me a lot more about this team. And then going ahead, you have another SEC team in South Carolina, Texas A&M, who was the #1 overall seed last year. So it is a hard schedule to start, and it's a long time away from home. You think about where they'll be in San Antonio to Clearwater, then to Cathedral City, California. I mean, they are all over the place.
And listen, I don't think it's early. It's not like we can, hey, send it on home and everything's all done after weekend number 1. But I think you could take a lot away with how they played over the weekend and what they did to Texas here to open up the season.
I think offensively is one of the biggest takeaways. If you're Alexis Jensen, there's a lot more softball to be played and for her to pitch, and you'll find out a lot more about her as we go. We know what Jordy Fromm's made of. After those two, we saw a few other arms as well in the rotation. What does that look like moving forward? What are some of the roles for those other arms in the rotation? But I get the feeling that, yeah, maybe you're not going to hit 12 home runs in a single weekend, right? But I think it's one of those offenses that in the end probably will be a top 5 power offense in the country.
The LSU matchup is also interesting because obviously Nebraska went to LSU and upset them and knocked them out of the regional last year to actually even advance to play Tennessee in the super regional. Everybody else had it penciled in to be LSU and Tennessee, you know?
Yeah, that was a weird one and done for LSU.
And so LSU, you probably think they want a little bit of a revenge. I don't know what they have coming back, but they might be fired up to play that game.
Yeah, and so that's another storyline going in. Tennessee's really darn good every single year. LSU always has LSU still has one of the top pitchers. I know they had the top pitching recruit, Jaden Heavner, and she's still there, and I think she's still at the top of their rotation. And then Tennessee still has Carlin Pickens, and that'll be a rematch of a 3-game super regional that came down to the very bitter end that Nebraska thought, hey, this is our chance to go to Oklahoma City. You'll get them again too. But it almost feels like Nebraska is a part of the SEC here over the next couple of weeks with the amount of SEC teams they have.
I brought up the rankings just because I know that, look, here's whatever the rankings are, and I know we use different ones, and the other ones might be more legit than others, but there's multiple rankings. I think either way, because Texas lost and Texas Tech did not, because there are some rankings that had them both like tied for first, and then being that Tennessee is also unbeaten, I got to think that going into it, a lot of these rankings are going to have Tech and Tennessee 1-2, being that Nebraska beat Texas to knock Texas off that #1 spot. So here is another opportunity for Nebraska to play the #1 team in the country.
Yeah, that's true. It's another opportunity to add. And those are things that you can put in the media guide and never leave, right? If you get multiple cracks at a #1 and, in this case, you had 2 shots in one weekend to beat Texas. And again, what's fascinating about that first game is you had both aces go at it and you score a combined 25 runs. So the fact that Nebraska's offense was humming, even though they had to go up against a pitcher like Tegan Gavon, was pretty stellar.
They also said the numbers were crazy on social media. A lot of people paying close attention to what Nebraska softball was doing over the weekend.
Yeah, and some of these early tournaments aren't streamed or whatever. It was good that there was a video component, where you're actually able to watch every single game. And some of those tournaments for SIDs can go on and on and on. And I'm sure that was the case at UTSA. But they had some really good crowds there. One, because Texas is not too far away from, Austin's not too far away from San Antonio. So it was essentially like you were playing a road game when you were playing Texas in those 2 games.
All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. Coming up next, got another special guest joining us. It's time for another bi-monthly check-in with the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold. He will be making periodic appearances here on Sports Nightly here throughout the spring, so we got a chance to chat with him and get caught up on all things happening here across the University of Nebraska System. So that's coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and delighted to be joined once again by the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold, as he checks in once again with us throughout this spring semester. Welcome back.
It's always a great pleasure to be with you.
Crazy spring sports are underway, including Husker baseball gets underway coming up this weekend out there in Arizona. What excites you the most about this spring sports season?
Well, certainly Husker baseball is a big part of it. I look forward to spending some time out in Haymarket and cheering on the team. You know, growing up in the inner city of New York, I've always been a baseball fan, and in case your audience doesn't know it, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Yankees fan, have been for many years. Define the end of the baseball season by when the Red Sox are eliminated. You know, you can tell. But, you know, I used to save my nickels and dimes and get onto the subway and go up to Yankee Stadium and watch baseball. And so as I've gotten more and more into collegiate baseball and into the College World Series, it's just been incredibly exciting for me. So I'm really looking forward to this baseball season. Have a lot of great hopes for the team. I know the coach is excited about it as well, and I'm sure we'll be quite competitive.
Hopefully John Baylor didn't hear that Red Sox comment, by the way.
Well, I know he and I have had that conversation.
Well, Nebraska will be hosting a major bioeconomy event at the end of April, bringing together business, government, and education leaders from across the United States. What can you tell our listeners about it?
Yeah, so this is a really big deal. This is the United States Council on Competitiveness that hosts these listening sessions across the United States. It's going to be April 29th and 30th. It's going to be held in Omaha on the grounds of the Durham Museum. And it's an opportunity to talk about the bioeconomy. And, of course, the University of Nebraska and the state of Nebraska are just the right place to have that conversation. And these are people with big ideas, not just about, you know, putting food on the table for America and the rest of the world, but it's all about cloth, building supplies. It's all about new medications, cosmetics, so many other things that need to be part of the bioeconomy. So we have speakers and panelists coming in from across the country and around the world. There'll be several hundred people here. And again, hosted by this large national organization, which I have the honor of serving on the board with, which is even more exciting. I guess no good deed goes unpunished. And the opportunity for us to participate and to host it here, I thought was just a way to bring true talent and national recognition.
Oh, that's exciting. I also understand that one of our very own Husker researchers who focuses on the bioeconomy recently was recognized with a national award. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's really exciting also. Dr. James Schnabel, who is the Nebraska Corn Presidential Chair, was honored with this award. So this is the 2026 National Academy of Sciences Prize in Food and Agriculture Sciences. This is one of the highest recognitions in this area in the United States. And I know I've just learned that he is actually the youngest researcher to win the award since its inception. You know, go youth in every possible way.
Wow.
So what he does is he studies plant genomics and genetics and ways that we can increase crop yield and reduce input costs. And he's just a remarkable gentleman and honored recently by the Board of Regents as well.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, speaking of awards, I know you had the opportunity recently to spend some time at the Omaha area high schools honoring some very high-achieving students. What can you tell us about these high school students?
So this is part of the Presidential Scholars Program, which our audience may know about, recognizing perfect ACT recipients. So these are kids that get a solid 36 on their ACT, which obviously takes a great deal of practice and skill to get to that point. Thus far, while we don't know exactly how many there are in the state, we do know how many have actually applied to the University of Nebraska system to all of our campuses, and that number is 46 so far. So last week, I had the opportunity to go to the Elkhorn School District and the Millard School District. From those two school districts, I actually met 20 of those 46 students and their families, congratulated them, and look forward to welcoming them as students here on all of the University of Nebraska campuses. And, this is just another example of how we are working very hard with both merit-based and need-based scholarship support. And this particular program is a full ride, meaning it's full cost of attendance plus a stipend to make sure that there are no economic barriers to these students attending here, but the programmatic things that we offer in terms of leadership development, unique interdisciplinary and interprofessional coursework. Think about programs like the Rake School or the Kiewit Scholars or the Scott Scholars and so many others are world-renowned, high-performing programs, and that's exactly what these perfect ACT kids are interested in.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, last week we celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and you are a huge supporter of women in sports and our women's sports here. You are everywhere. First of all, let me be the first to say thank you for being such a big supporter of women in sports. Why is that so important to you, to be everywhere and support our women and our sports?
Well, first of all, the athleticism and the performance of these young women is truly remarkable. And not to take anything away from the men's sports, but, we've enjoyed them and applauded them for decades and decades and decades. And I think now we're going through a time where we're recognizing the fact that women's sports are just as exciting, in some ways even more exciting, because the sports are different. They're just, handled differently in terms of the recruitment and the training and others. These young women work really hard, not only to be students, but to be athletes. And the athleticism and the performance on the hardwood and on, soon to be in flag football and other areas as well is truly remarkable. So I have the honor of attending many of the games. As you know, I'm a huge volleyball fan and love to do the pregame with John. And even if he is a Red Sox fan, what can I say? But really enjoying men's and women's basketball. What a season that we have. And of course, softball is right around the corner. So, this is a time for us to recognize these young women and to really do everything we can to make them feel welcome. And one of the things we're doing is adding scholarships to women's sports. I heard our athletic director, Troy Dannon, say not too long ago that we're adding 70 some odd scholarships to support women athletes. That could be the largest addition in the conference, if not within the NCAA, in a long, long time, to really make sure that all the Title IX commitments are not just, into the letter of the law, but to the true spirit of the regulation as well.
Yeah, so great opportunities with the addition of those scholarships for student athletes. And you mentioned it, flag football. Are you fired up for that? Another sport for you to attend and support?
Why not? Absolutely. And I think the community is going to love it. The Nebraska fan base is incredible, and I think this is a state that really values women's sports. And so I think the combination of bringing a new sport, particularly one as popular as flag football. I read somewhere that there are 20 million people playing flag football now in the United States. Obviously, it's going to be an Olympic sport in the next Olympic go-around. And why can't we be the first? Of course we are. This is Nebraska.
I love it. I love it. Great stuff, as always. Thank you so much for your time here with us.
Always an honor. Look forward to next time.
Again, that is President Dr. Jeff Gold here with us on Sports Nightly as he checks in here with us throughout the spring semester. Got to step aside for a break. More of the show coming up right after this.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. How about that? You and Dr. Gold have the Yankees in common.
Yeah, and I haven't talked to him about that. I didn't know that until then, that he was a Yankees guy. So we have that in common moving forward when I see him at halftime of football games. We could talk about that.
Yeah, there you go. Some people in the chat do not like the Yankees.
Not Yankee fans?
Yeah. So, I mean, you're pretty kind of even killed.
You think so?
Don't get too up and down. But that was the most animated I've seen you in the Yankees when they gave
Red
up.
Sox, yeah.
They gave up some big
It was
run.
late in the game. I don't remember the specifics.
You might have dropped a word or two.
I never swear. I never curse.
I
I'm
heard
always
you in my office and you were in the studio.
That's right.
I think everybody down the hall heard you.
That yeah, I'm pretty even keel, but when things don't go my way in a sports game or one of my teams, I can get pretty animated with the rest of them.
Camden is also trying to get us to play fantasy baseball, and that sounds like a horrible idea.
I mean, it's probably the worst idea he's ever had.
I'm out on that.
I mean,
Absolutely
it's just it's so much effort to do fantasy sports as it is. The only one I've ever done growing up was fantasy football. Everybody does that.
It's a lot of work.
But if you do fantasy baseball, basketball is still, that's borderline insanity. That's 82 games. You might need to see a doctor. And then fantasy baseball, 162 games from end of March to start of October. To go over a fantasy baseball lineup every single day during that time span, you might need some help.
Yeah, it's a horrible idea. I said absolutely not. I'm out. I'm out on that. You can find other people
I've
to
been
participate.
forced into it. I don't have a choice.
Apparently. Well, hey, how about Nebraska wrestling? We mentioned this in the first hour, but what a way to end a home season. And we talked a lot about it throughout the course of this season, but they had record-breaking crowd after record-breking crowd that got brought up in a couple of meetings today. They're very, very appreciative of that. But how about a 47-0 victory? Christopher was on the call once again on Big Ten Plus. Chris, how about that? Did you expect a 47-0 win on Sunday?
Honestly, yeah.
You did?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
this Northwestern team is just going through a massive rebuild right now, and you're kind of thinking that if you forfeit 157 and 165 before the match even starts, you're kind of looking at a lineup that cannot compete with someone like Nebraska.
Okay. Well, it's still hard to do. Like, that's still impressive. So how about the senior class? I mean, you look at a guy like Brock Hardy, Silas Allred, but really, really important to this program over the last, for Brock Hardy, 6 years.
I mean, yeah, Brock had a great match. So did Silas. And looking at their collective body of work, you're kind of looking at them to get into winning time here in March when you go to NCAAs and you go to Big Tens. I mean, Brock has obviously had some problems getting past Sergio Vega and Jesse Mendez, but Mendez is a Hodge Trophy finalist for sure in about a month here. But this is about the time that Nebraska starts winning and starts putting together good duels, good matches, and knows who they are going into Big Tens. And I think that that's something that we're definitely going to be seeing, especially considering Brock Hardy is definitely going to be in talks to be the runner-up again or possibly break through and be that national champion that we expected him to be.
They close out with 3 matches on the road, and so before going into the Big Ten championships in March and then the NCAA championships mid-March. But how about the atmosphere inside Devaney this year? You've been there for all of them. How special has it been to see those record-breaking crowds almost every weekend?
I mean, it's just amazing. Like, you go to Iowa, you go to Ohio State, those duels were just unbelievable. You go to Oak State, please don't call and text right now. You know, I think that it's been unbelievable, and you see a renewed energy for wrestling in the state, especially considering how big it's getting at the high school level. But it's just got this new energy to it after getting that runner-up last year, and it's been unbelievable, and Husker Nation is definitely to thank for that, you know, great atmosphere that they can compete with the best of the Big Ten.
Awesome, good stuff. And again, as he mentioned, this is a team coming off the runner-up finish last year. They got a lot of guys back, and they'll continue to hopefully peak and start hitting their stride, as Coach Manning's teams typically do here this time of the year, heading into the Big Ten championships and then into the NCAA championships. So also wanted to chat women's basketball, Kyle, because a tough one on Saturday against Maryland. It was the Play for K game, and we talked a lot about potential to maybe get a top 25 win, but just tough goings really from the start in this one.
Yeah, they're still trying to find that big resume boosting win, right? They've had a lot of opportunities against top 25 teams, and it just hasn't come. And you could sense Amy Williams' frustration in the post game, their physicality, rebounding, turnovers. There's a lot of different things that factor into a loss like that. But for them, I think it's just overall they got to play better. Right now, they're in a tough part of their schedule. They played back-to-back really tough road games with Ohio State and Michigan, and then to come back home and have that opportunity and fall short. You could sense there's a little bit of frustration right now. I think the talent is there for them to turn it around. If the season were to end today, I think they're in the NCAA tournament, so they have that going for them. But the good thing is there's still a lot of season left, and I think there's the horses in that locker room to get it turned around.
Logan Nisley was a bright spot for the team on Saturday, so it's good to see her really have a good day. But yeah, I feel bad because when Coach Williams comes in for her chats on a weekly basis for the most part, and she brought it up last week that the issue continues to be the same, that we just we've got to find a way to be better on the boards and rebounding, and it just continues to kind of haunt this team. But you said it, like they've got the talent, they've got the players that they can, if they can get it rolling, they certainly, we saw it. We've seen when they can put it all together, they can compete with the best of the best, and they've been right there with some of the top teams. I mean, we saw them play Michigan, go toe to toe with Michigan. We saw them play Ohio State pretty good up until the last few minutes. So and you can go on and on down the list. They've played some of the top teams in the country and have played them pretty solidly. They've just got to find a way to put it all together, and they need to. They've got 5 games left, and these next 4 are really, really important in terms of getting into the NCAA tournament, continuing to improve the seed. Not just improving the seed, but also solidifying a spot in the NCAA tournament moving forward. So, at Minnesota on Thursday is a big one, and then you got Iowa at home on Monday, which would also be a big win for this team too. And then you go on your West Coast West Coast trip at Oregon, at Washington. But you got to hope that you can pick up some wins here, especially in these next 4 games.
I think they got to figure out a toughness and identity on the defensive end. I think they've had 3 straight games where their opponent has shot at least 50% from the floor, and when you have quarters where your opponent's scoring 30 points, 25 points, that's just too much. It averages it out to way too much. And I think this team has a lot higher ceiling on the defensive end of the floor. One, you got to stop turning the ball over as much. I think this team's due to shoot the ball a little bit better, especially from 3. Britt didn't have her best game, that's for sure, on Saturday. And then you just got to defend it at a much higher level. So there's areas they've know what they have to get better at, and we'll see. There's more winnable elements of this schedule coming up. The Iowa game is going to be another one of those games that's going to be a resume boosting opportunity. Do you take advantage, especially when it's a home game?
11 a.m. on Monday.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's on Fox. It's on the Fox.
On Big Fox, yeah.
It'll be a national platform. That's President's Day, so they have a national platform that day. Hopefully it's a good crowd. I think it's a federal holiday, right? So everybody should have off work.
You talked about Britt not having her best stuff. She's done so much. She's had to do so much, and this is with every team that they've played trying to figure out some way to slow her down. It was almost like she was kind of due for just a tough game, because she just has been really good when teams have done everything. They've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at her to try to slow her down.
Yeah, it's tough. In the Big Ten, too, I mean, there's a lot of great defenders, a lot of great team defending in the Big Ten and in this league. There's a lot of top 25 teams. I think it's the most top 25 teams of any league in the country. So consistently, you're seeing some of the best competition. It's very similar to how Britt has to find her open looks to what we see with Price Sanford on the men's side, too. Just there's a lot of extra work for her to get open and for her to create her own shot. And for that, they can, it could wear you down over a season. So for her, they need to get her a fresh start and get going and get some sort of inside presence as well. I think that's an area offensively that Nebraska has to improve on and find a way to get some easy baskets in the paint.
I think it's again, when we talk about the men and the big picture, it's also easy for us, and I think media and outside world, to start looking at that. I do think with the Big Ten, they're going to get a lot of the benefit of the doubt, getting a lot of teams in, but you just don't want to take a chance on. We never know when a team's going to go win a tournament, a team that you didn't count on winning a conference tournament. You want to avoid the bubble at all costs. I do think the Big Ten will get a benefit of the doubt and get a lot of teams in, but you just got to take it one game at a time. And so as much as we kind of like to take it big picture with the men, it's the same thing with the women. We want to look at the big picture, but you can get things rolling here with a big win at Minnesota. I think that would be a big win and a big confidence boost to close out the season.
I think you wonder if some of the injuries they've had and the players they haven't had all year is maybe taking its toll.
Yeah.
On them a little bit. I think that's fair to say, too. There's some pretty big pieces that they've been missing all year. And, you feel like there's certain elements of this team that are lacking at this current moment if they had a few players that maybe give them a boost. And that's the situation they're in. They have to find a way to get themselves out of it. And you trust Amy Williams and that staff to find a way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, they haven't had Natalie Potts all year long, but this time June, even this time a year ago, I think they went into the season. You talk about transfer portal season, all of that, and the pieces that you need. They expected Natalie Potts to be available this season. And so, I think even going into August, September, they were still hoping that she could get back, and even throughout the course of the season, but it just wasn't in the cards for her this season. And so, yeah, I think that was certainly a big piece that they were hoping to rely on, and she would absolutely have made a difference. That's why do you think we get text messages every time I think Amy Williams has been on the show? We get viewer or listener text messages on the show asking if she's going to be available this season. And of course, word got out recently. She posted that she was going to redshirt, but that would have been a big piece. That certainly would have helped in a lot of these games that we're talking about, trying to get over the hump in some of these close games.
Well, you're going to have opportunities down the stretch, and there's winnable games, and the rest of they've played probably the hardest part of their schedule, just like the men have. They have a lot of chances to win some games and boost their resume, and then there's the whole different season. What can you do in the Big Ten tournament? There's a lot of RPI boosting opportunities in these conference tournaments, especially the Big Ten.
All right, going to go ahead and get to a break. We are back to wrap up the show next.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same: a wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Monday night edition. We will not have a show. What are you celebrating for?
This is the Who.
Oh. I can't hear the music.
My best friend from New Jersey is a giant Who fan, so we'd always do this, the Pete Townsend.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You know that song, right? Is that Bob
I
O'Reilly?
I don't hear the music.
Oh, it won't get fooled again.
So, all right. Well, I was like, what are you doing? Are you celebrating that it's a final segment? You happy?
I'm never happy. I'd do 24 hours on the radio if I
radio,
could.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Hey, no show for us tomorrow because
come on.
we will have men's basketball.
All right. I like that.
I'll just set up the week for you so that people know what to watch for, listen for here over the next week. It's crazy the next couple of weeks. We just are not on the air very much. But so no show tomorrow because we will have the pregame show at 5 o'clock with the 6 o'clock tip with Nebraska and Purdue men's basketball. Wednesday, we will have the Nebraska men's basketball radio hour. Fred Hoiberg going to be here, right? It's been a while.
That's right. Yes, he's been ducking me for a long time.
Well, he was supposed to be on, and then he went recruiting.
What's more important, Fred? Come on, talking to me or getting the next star for Nebraska basketball?
But So we'll have our Nebraska men's basketball hour, and then we're going to talk some Glow Big Red. So big event coming up. We'll hear more about that with Tyler Kai. Thursday we have women's basketball, so we'll have just a short show because we have a big one for women's basketball at Minnesota. And then Friday, the season opener for baseball.
Let's
we'll
go.
Only have
Ben
30
and Nick
minutes.
will be out there. They'll be in Arizona. They'll have all 4 games from Friday through Monday out there. So this is the busiest time of year for Josh and Camden and the whole crew. I mean, they're in the studio a long, long time.
And then that's just what we have on the air here on our airwaves, but also on streaming, you can hear Nate all
Yes, I was listening to him all weekend.
The weekend. He had some big-time numbers on streaming.
I mean, it's that time of year. I think there's massive interest in softball. That goes without saying. I think there's a legitimate buzz for softball. It's a reason that I think we'll eventually carry more games than we're used to when it comes to softball on the network. And because there's star power, there's legitimate power in the lineup. I think there's stars being born outside of Jordy Fromm and that pitching staff. So, and they're playing good marquee games too.
Yeah, I went to a dog birthday party. Not enough time to explain it.
Oh, please.
But a couple walked in and the guy said, "Why is the softball game not on?" So, I thought that was pretty telling. And there was a lot of interest, a lot of people. So I signed us in on these. I just had it streaming on my phone, and then I put it on the TV there. But it was, I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of people were pretty interested in checking out that game. All right, so again, big one coming up tomorrow night, Nebraska and Purdue, as Kyle laid it out. I didn't say it, Coach Hoiberg. It was all Kyle and Kent talking about this colossal matchup tomorrow.
He said colossal. Kent said colossal.
What was your adjective?
Massive.
Okay, massive and colossal. So a big one. How do you see it shaking out?
Life-altering. I think you got Braden Smith's one of the best players in the country. They do everything well. They guard. They can score at a high clip. They don't turn the ball over. They're big. So physicality, rebounding. Can you keep the rebounding margin somewhat respectable and get off to another fast start? For me, it's continue to get Rink in a rhythm. Can you get Price going as well? I mean, these are all the obvious things in terms of the guys that you want to get going. Who's the X factor in the game in terms of who shows up and has a big-time performance? Is it a Braden Frager game? Is it a Jamarcus Lawrence game? You'll need somebody outside of the stars to have a big game. Purdue, it's a team that, they were picked to win a national championship to start the year. They were picked to win the Big Ten. So for them, they have, they probably haven't lived up to the hype so far. So for them, this would be big.
And listen, they're going to be prepared for the atmosphere. They've experienced it. In fact, the big win a couple years ago with Rink, that it was the court storm, the legendary storm, that puppy. So it was pretty epic, and so they'll be ready for it, but it needs to be a rockin' atmosphere once again. And I'll tell you, and I talked to Coach Hoiberg about this on the TV show, that, this one hurt the last time that this team left the court inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. They want to protect the home court. They want to protect the vault, and they did not like the feeling of losing at home, and they want to get it right here against Purdue tomorrow night.
Be early, be loud. I know I will, and I know you will. Yes. I know Camden will be early and be loud. That environment was crazy in the Illinois game. Let's see if we can copy that.
All right. Should be a fun one. So another big-time top 15 matchup inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. Again, pregame show coming up for you at 5 o'clock right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Thanks to Christopher and Camden for helping us out here. For Kyle Crooks, I'm Jessica Coody. We'll be back again on Wednesday night for a full 2 hours here of Sports Nightly. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for Holland. campers, ATVs. You know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you.